Hello, this is Dyer from Divergence Analysis. Today we're looking at a NinjaTrader chart, crude oil, the July contract. I'm going to go through a few progressions of a few trades I saw yesterday morning, June 10th, Eastern Time. This was between about 9:30 and 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Crude oil 1-minute chart. I'm going to click bar by bar and show how we would use the DVAN indicators we have activated on the chart: DVAN buying selling cycles, DVAN short-term trend, and DVAN signals. So we're going to start off with the assumption that I took this short signal here that was given at 9:29. That was given at 104.73 was the price at 9:29 a.m. So I'm going to click bar by bar and explain my thought process using the DVAN indicators. After the short signal, we continued with the short-term trend showing weakness given by the red histogram bars. The leading line is now down below zero, meaning that the shorter-term force is in play. We've seen an ultimate cross of the three smart lines, the light blue, red, and gray dotted line, meaning that we're now entered fully into a selling cycle. Next minute we see that we've pushed down farther with the leading blue line. We're no worries right now. We continue to have no worries as long as this blue line's pushing down below zero, staying out of the histogram, then we're fine to remain short. One more minute, now we're looking at 9:35. The leading line's moving up. It might be a little more interest to us, but we're still comfortable in our short. We see the leading line continue up. Points of resistance at this point would be the trend line, which is currently at 104.67. Leading line continues down, so this point of interest becomes more safe now that we see the leading line, the force, and the short-term trend bars go from negative above zero, now negative below zero. This bar, we see the leading line go into the histogram, meaning that consolidation is occurring, along with no longer red price bars but a green price bar, meaning that at these lows buying pressure has come in. So this is a point that we're going to take this trade. That trade was from 104.73 to 104.65, so just a little under 10 points. We're going to continue with the progression of what we look at using the DVAN indicators. We're still in the histogram at this point, showing consolidation. We have another green price bar, meaning that there's a possible bottom occurring here. We're going to continue watching to see if our other indicators confirm. Next minute, much of the same. Next minute, the leading line staying within the histogram. This is showing nice consolidation. We're primed and ready if we get a buy signal. The change here is that the short-term trend has gone from red to green, meaning that there's further indication that we're moving from a bearish cycle to a bullish buying cycle. Bottoming process continues. This bar at 9:45, we finally get a cross of DVAN signals. The algorithm line crosses above the baseline. We've pushed up above the pivot line, meaning that the trend is now up. Prices have closed above this pivot line with green price bars, meaning there's buying pressure dominance. We also see the leading line, the blue line here, moving up above zero, so we're going to be long. We get a nice hit up. We're okay. The leading line and the short-term trend is staying outside of the histogram, which would be first indications that the trend is coming to a close. Remaining long. A few minutes later, remaining long. This has been a nice profit. Remaining long. This has been a couple minutes of the leading line coming back down towards the histogram, so we'll at least take notice of that. We're still outside of the histogram. We're okay. Another nice hit up. Another nice hit up. This is turning into a really good long position. So now, after a huge move, after an already pretty good sustained bullish move here, the leading lines come back down sharply, so this could be exhausting. We're now back in the histogram. This green line, this green price bar means that buying pressure is still dominant, so we're going to hold on. This bar at 959, we're back in the histogram for the second straight bar, meaning that consolidation to the upside is occurring. We have a red price bar, meaning that weakness has now come in after this profitable up move that began at 104.67. We're going to get out at 104.89, so that's a 22-cent move. We're out. We're watching weakness set in. We're within the histogram, so this could turn into another short position. This is the first at 10:01 a.m. We see red price bars along with the red histogram bar on the short-term trend. This is priming us for a potential short position. We actually get the confirmation at 10:02 a.m. We get the DVAN signals red arrow showing that the velocity has turned down. This is the second bar of red histogram, meaning that we're in a weak cycle. We're below the pivot line, the gray dotted line, meaning that prices have turned the trend down, and the red price bars mean that we're weak. We continue down. It's a good short position. We're going to start being curious here because this hasn't fully developed. The leading line's coming back into the histogram a little bit. It continues to come back in the histogram a little bit. Instead of converging, the light blue and red lines start moving apart. We're going to stay with the short-term trend, which shows that we're still weak, still bearish, but this is definitely a point of caution. Continued point of caution. We are staying within the histogram. We're staying red price bar, meaning that selling pressure is dominant, and we're staying red histogram, meaning that we're in a selling cycle, but things definitely don't look like they're at this point going to continue converging into a sell cycle. Okay, so now we held on to the short position. Things are actually starting to look weaker. The leading line has crossed below zero again, along with the red histogram staying red throughout this entire position since we got the short signal. The algorithm line on DVAN signals looks like it tested the blue baselines, now pushing down. Looks like the short's materializing. So now we're comfortable in our position. We're below zero with the leading line pushing down, showing weakness. We're going to keep holding on to the short. Keep holding on to the short. A few minutes later, we're still short. We see some greater weakness set in. We're starting to see a couple periods of the leading line getting close to coming back into the histogram, which would show us consolidation and a point to take our profit. This bar, when the green price bar comes in at 10:18, we're back in the histogram with the leading line. We are going to take our profit. Ends up being a good place to take profit. That move resulted in an entry to the short side at 104.85, an exit at 104.70. So those were a long move that was 22 cents, a short move that would have been 15 cents, all within about 30 minutes. Hopefully this helps show how you use the progression of the DVAN indicators as confirmation for entries and exits on crude oil. This is June 10th, the morning session on Eastern Time.